Well, hello there. Welcome back to my channel. My name's Meg and I love all things crafty. Today I'm going to show you how to make 3 different types of trinket dishes out of polymer clay, and they're all themed around flowers. I'm really excited to show you guys how easy this is, so let's get into it. For this first dish, you'll only need 2 colors of polymer clay. It doesn't matter what color, it can be any color. I chose this really pretty teal color, and then I also mixed up some translucent and glitter a while back, and I decided to use that as well. The brand that I'm using here is Craftsmart. You can find it at Michael's, and it's actually one of my favorite brands of clay. It's really easy to work with and really easy to condition. And conditioning the clay is the first thing that we need to do. That's what I'm actually doing here. I'm just warming it up in my hands. This helps make it a lot easier to work with. You can use a pasta machine or a clay machine, but for the sake of this video, we're using our hands. Clay is all conditioned and we are ready to roll this out. So I'm just flattening this out with my hand, and then I'm also taking an acrylic roller and I'm going to use this to flatten it out to the thickness that I desire. If you don't have a roller like this on hand, no worries. You can use a rolling pin or you can even use a cup. We want to make sure that the thickness of this slab is even, so an easy way that you can do that is to grab a couple popsicle sticks and tape them together to your desired thickness. Then you place each popsicle stick on the side of the slab and roll it out, and boom, now you have an even slab. I'm using a flower template that I made out of printer paper, and I'm placing that on top of the slab here. And then I'm going to take an X-Acto knife and I'm just going to trace this outline of the flower. This next part is so satisfying. Look at that clean pull. Now I'm going to smooth out the edges of the flower with my fingertips and do this very, very gently. I just want to get rid of any of the harsh lines that X-Acto knife made. I'm using my handy dandy crafting blade to lift up the flower from the work surface. And I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm just gonna buff out any edges very gently with my fingertips. Now it's time to work on the center of the flower, so I'm grabbing my second color of clay here. This is a different brand. It's actually Sculpey Primo Translucent Clay, and I did mix in some glitter also, so it's going to be sparkly. I'm just conditioning it here. This brand in particular is a little bit harder to condition with your hands, so it took a little bit of time, but no worries. I'm going to take the little ball of clay and use my palm to flatten it down a bit, and then I'm just going to make sure that it looks nice, it fits nicely in the center of the flower, and then we're going to attach it. And in order to do this, I'm going to take an X-Acto knife and score the middle of the flower here. These little score marks are to ensure that the center piece of the flower doesn't fall off after it's been baked and it's stuck on there nice and tight. I want to add a little bit more pizzazz to this flower, so I'm going to take my dotting tool and add some texture. I'm going to take it a step further and use a needle tool to add some lines on the petals, making this extra snazzy. Now, in order to get the trinket dish shape that I want from this, I'm going to use a glass Pyrex bowl that I use all the time, and it is oven safe, so make sure that whatever you use is safe for the oven. And I'm just gently placing this inside of the bowl. She is looking beautiful and ready to bake, but we're going to set her aside for now and start our next design. For the second design, I'm going to use this pearl white clay, and I'm just going to roll it out like I did the first one. And this one isn't going to be flower shaped. I want it to be more of a wavy shape. So in order to do that, I'm taking this cookie cutter, but I'm not going to cut all the way through. I'm just going to make a slight imprint. And then I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and I'm going to try to follow along that imprint and just make some little waves all the way around. And the satisfying part, yes. Just like the first dish, I'm taking my fingers and smoothing out the edges or any nicks that I see. We're gonna end up coming back to this dish later once it's all baked to paint on it. So we're just going to simply place it in a glass bowl and set it aside. Now it's time for the third design. For this one, I'm using the same pearly white color, and I do want this to be a circle, so this time I'm going to push all the way down on the cookie cutter, or at least all the way down, but unfortunately this was not a very smooth pull, as you can see. But that's okay. I'm taking my X-Acto knife and I'm trimming these little edges here. I'm going to add clay flowers to this and picked out 2 pink shades and 2 purple shades. And all I'm doing here is I'm going to roll each one out, and then I have this really cute flower shaped cutter, and I'm using that to create all the little flower shapes. Whipping out my handy dandy crafting blade again and moving all those little babies to the side, and then I'm also going to use it to scrape off any of the clay that stuck to the surface. And we repeat this process 3 more times until we have a bunch of beautiful little baby flowers. Once I had a good amount of flowers cut out, it's time to add them to the dish. I'm just placing these randomly, and I even ended up putting a couple hanging off of the side. For the center of the flowers, I'm using this really obnoxious neon yellow that I absolutely love, and I'm just ripping off pieces and rolling up into little baby balls. And alas, the design is complete. Love how this turned out. I'm gonna do the same thing that I did with the other 2 dishes and very gently put this inside a glass Pyrex dish. I preheated the oven according to the package instructions, which was 275 degrees, and we're gonna put these in the oven for about 25 to 28 minutes. And just like that, they're done. You want to make sure that they're completely cool before you remove them from the bowls, of course. What do you guys think? I think these turned out really well so far. Which one's your favorite? I think mine is going to be this one so far. Remember how I mentioned earlier we were going to come back to this one? Well, it's time to come back to it. We are going to paint a bunch of little flowers all over the inside of this. I have this really bright acrylic paint set that I got from Michael's. The brand is Artist Loft, and I'm just using my flower template that I cut out as the little palette. Why not? I'm taking my dotting tool again, and I'm just going to paint on little baby flowers all over the dish, all different colors. Don't get me wrong, I think these colors are absolutely beautiful, but after staring at them for a while, my eyes started to hurt because they were so bright. I'm going to add some green little leaves, which they're really just kind of like dashes or blobs, but it's okay. They kind of look like leaves. I still think they're cute. What do you guys think? How adorable! The last step, which is also optional, is to add some gloss. And my personal fave is this polyurethane varnish. And boy, let me tell you, I have gone through a lot of different brands and I've wasted a lot of money on gloss trying to find one that works best for me. And this one, hands down, is the best. I'm adding 2 layers to each dish, and each layer is going to be very thin. You don't need too much. A little goes a long way. And before adding the second layer, I made sure that the first layer completely dried. I'm sad to report that my camera decided to stop recording, so unfortunately I was unable to capture the last trinket dish, but that's okay. You get the idea, right? Here they are. What do you guys think? I think they turned out absolutely gorgeous. Which one is your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. I think my favorite has got to be the one in the middle, or maybe the one that I hand painted. I can't decide. I love them all. But anyways, if you guys like this video, please don't forget to give me a like and subscribe, and I will see you next week. Bye!